Hey guys, it's KB here. I know it's been 4 years. Four since I've done a video last. This is a little kind of, hey, what's been going on in my life since then? I finished my degree in veterinary technology. Whoop whoop. Passed my board and then state exam, national and then state board exams for that. So I've been focusing on that. When I was in school, there were times where we had to do clinicals, so I didn't really have time to do anything. Wasn't reading much back then either. I was just kind of working, homework, schooling, repeat over and over and over again. I would try and squeeze in reading when I could, mainly when I was tired of staring at textbooks. So now I own all the textbooks, because, why not? But yeah. And then I don't know, there's where I wasn't really on YouTube, like watching anything either. So I've definitely gotten back into that. Although I've been watching more random things and like anti MLM videos. I have kept up with Reads with Rachel and I want to say it correctly. Books and Lala, other Kayla. I like their videos. I do. Kitty Colson is another one I love. She's hilarious. But yeah, that's mostly it. I moved out of my mom's house, that's why it's a different setup. I do hope to have a better background. We'll see. We'll see what I do. I haven't decided yet. I kind of just keep putting it off. I don't know. I've just been doing stuff. I was in a reading slump for quite a while where I couldn't finish much. I've been in several, which has been the most annoying. If you have any good books for getting out of a reading slump, let me know. I would love to try anything. Although, what I finally was able to restart and finish. Actually, it was two books. The first one is This Is Pleasure, which is an interesting book. It's super short. And they're like, you have to. It kind of reminds me of episodes of like Law and Order SVU, just of sorts, just because it's kind of got the little bits of, hey, something happened, she's saying this, he's saying this kind of a thing. With one character, which is Quinlan. He's an oddball. That's probably the simplest way I can describe him. He's got a different form of personality than what people are used to, and he doesn't really respect personal bubble boundaries, which I think is what turns people off from him. Yet, on the flip side of this book, there's also Margot, who is pretty much his best friend for 20 years, trying to kind of talk to him. She can understand where the women are coming from because she knows him and his ways, but then she also kind of understands where he's coming from. It's only like what, 82 pages. It kind of covers Quinlan being in complete denial to trying to understand. It doesn't go as well as people would think. It's it's something. So yeah, this is it by Mary Gaskill. The synopsis is Quinn and Mario have been friends for more than 20 years. Quinn is an extrovert and a, see if I can pronounce this right, the answer is probably no, sensualist who thrives on flirtation and ambiguity. He is at his happiest when encouraging intimate confidences from the women he meets, always clear with him about the boundaries of their own relationships. Until now, Margot has looked on his behavior with a mix of ambivalence and affection. But when Quinn's actions are held up against a new light and his life begins to unravel, Margot tries to work towards a deeper understanding of her friend, the damage he might have caused, and the loyalty he deserves. This is Pleasure is a masterpiece of fiction that looks unflinchingly at the difficult and necessary debates of our present moment. It rejects moral certainties while honoring the ambiguity and vulnerability at the heart of all human relationships. Which, that is what originally kind of got me to read the book. He's tiny. Let's see how long it actually is. 84 pages. I was close. I think I said 87. It's easy to read, actually. So, like, I do recommend reading it. It's definitely interesting. I do wish there's a bit more, just more to it. So I feel like you can get more in depth with Quinlan. It's his full name. I just like calling him that because I think it sounds better than Quinn. No offense to the Quinns out there. I do like that name. But yeah, and then I read Butcher and Blackbird finally. One of my friends kept raging and said, hey, you need to read this. You need to read this. So I finally did. And do recommend. It is funny. It is a serial killer rom-com. It is by Brendan Weaver. The synopsis, well, I'm going to make a video about this later. That's more in depth. I really like the banter between Sloane and Rowan. Rowan is the butcher, Sloane is the blackbird. You find that out in literally chapters 1 and 2. I also like how they call maggots Orzos, and there's a army of Orzos. It's weird. There is, like, songs you can listen to throughout this. I did not, just because that's not something I typically do. Usually if I'm reading a book, I'm typically reading it with something in the background just because my mind tends to wander. So I wonder if my reading experience would be better, worse, I don't know, with doing that. But yeah, other books I've started reading are actually because I myself would like to write a book. I've kind of written the first 2 chapters. I'm in chapter 3 right now. We'll see. I'm still under 3,000 words. It's been an interesting experience, to say the least. But I bought Beach Read by Emily Henry because it's about 2 authors. One writes more violently sci-fi fiction, yay, and then the other is more of a romance writer. And they accidentally meet over summer, and they kind of go, hey, let's write each other's main ideas. So yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. I read the first chapter. And then even though I've had Yellowface by R.F. Kuang since it came out, I only read like a couple pages back then. So I'm starting to read it again to kind of see what I can gain from it. I did finally get to the scene where Athena dies, which is quite frankly disturbing. From someone who's done the medical field before, that crap's traumatizing. Let's put it that way. Books I'm currently looking forward to are Synced by Ellen Hopkins. I love that woman's writing style. It's just always been easy to read, understand for me. I pretty much reread either Impulse or Perfect, most of the time Perfect, Children, on a yearly basis. And then Kathleen Glasgow has another book coming out. I don't know why I just blanked on what it's called. The Glass Girl is what'll be coming out soon. So I really want to read that. I just found out today while I was scrolling the Goodreads giveaways that Olympic swimmer Katie Ledecky wrote a memoir. So I would like to go into that. Just because, A, I like swimming. I have watched that woman compete for years. I myself swim. I haven't much since my college days just because I jacked up my shoulder. Then also, I think it would be interesting to go into the mind of someone who's not quite completely full of themselves when they're Olympian and just kind of see like what trials and tribulations they go through and things like that. I think that would be interesting. Things I would like to continue reading. I did read Flock by Katie Stewart, so I would like to finish that trilogy. I just know Exodus book 2 is on the heavier side, so I haven't quite touched it. Another sequel I'm not ready for because I know it gets dark. I read Haunting Adeline, enjoyed it. Finished it when I was at the ER when my cat was actually being used as a blood donor, so I wasn't there for an emergency. And Hunting Adeline is dark, so I just not in the mindset to be able to handle that. I want to read more by Mason Deaver. I want to read The Whisper Man. I know it's more of a horror-ish. It's not quite up my alley. I have enjoyed thrillers. I did, because of cat paperback dreams, read Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. Really enjoyed that. It and then The Mentor by Matthew Lee Goldberg are the ones that got me into reading thriller. So I want to read A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. I have it. It's just at my mom's house right now. I read The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I can't pronounce it. I liked it, so I got The Maidens. Back when I was in school, I took an intro to sci-fi science fiction literature class, and I enjoyed it. I read The Blood Child by Octavia E. Butler, so I want to read some more from her. I know I have Dawn, and I have 2 copies of it because your girl's an idiot. I want to read Blake Crouch because Emily Fox really likes him. I did start reading, I think it's called Foundation by Isaac Asimov, the first book in that series. I don't know if we'll be finishing it. We'll see. Becky Chambers, I want to read more. I've read To Be Taught If Fortunate. Do recommend. You've got science. You've got queer. You've got mental issues that are covered in really interesting way. Just because when there's only a small amount of people aboard a spaceship, it's a small little home, you're bound to have some kind of mental struggles, and I think Becky Chambers did a good job of covering that. I want to read, I believe, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe is the second book to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but I might have to reread Hitchhikers because it's been a while since I've read that. I read The Duke and I, the first book in the Bridgerton series. Did finally watch that show, and holy crap. So naturally, I also have The Viscount Who Loved Me and Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. I haven't read them yet, but I think I'm trying to give it time from when I watched it to when I read them. Good books. Hello, my son. First son. I don't have human sons. I read the first half of It Ends With Us, and then I watched the movie, which I did actually enjoy. But yeah, future videos I would like to work on making is an in-depth review of Butcher and Blackbird. I just want to get my thoughts more organized. for it. Maybe document my writing journey. I don't know. If you guys have any advice on like editing software, cameras to use, types of technology that could help with this, that would be great. Or ideas on how to decorate my wall, because it is gray and boring. My cats are being weird. That's why I keep looking that way, because they're... But yeah, if you guys have any advice on anything, let me know. That'd be great. Have a good day.